Hey everyone, meteorologist Mike Priante here. I'm back with another weather update. I'm joined with Mike Mihalik, and besides the storms today, Mike, I think the bigger weather headline will be the heat and building humidity into the weekend and possibly even early next week.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike. I mean, this heat coming into the latter half of the weekend is going to be really pretty oppressive here. Talking about temperatures that are going to be getting into the mid 90s. Talking about heat indices that might be in the upper 90s to near 100. So especially in those big cities, we got to watch for that this weekend. I know there's already some excessive heat advisories or I'm sorry, watches that are going out now for a lot of the urban areas in the
Yeah.
Northeast. So I'm sure that'll be converted to warnings as we head later into the weekend. So, Mike, let's take a look at the forecast and see if any thunderstorms could help us out to give us a little coolness here to cool off that heat or not.
Well, maybe. At least maybe not until Monday, which is going to be
Ah,
probably the peak heat. Yeah, unfortunately, going to be a pretty rough weekend out in the Northeast. But let's figure out why this is happening, right? We want to know
hmm
why this is occurring. Well, it's thanks to this. Basically, if you look at the upper level pattern, there's a nice little ridge that builds in across most of the countries under this ridge. I mean, you go from Texas to the East Coast. It's pretty much overpowering here. But at the surface, the reason why you get a lot of that humidity, this high pressure off the coast, this Bermuda high, really starting to funnel in that moisture, Mike. The dew points are going to rise really well into the upper 60s, possibly even the 70s. I mean, we're talking Florida
hmm
level humidity in the
Yeah,
Northeast.
certainly going to be soupy. And unfortunately, with this type of pattern, you don't really have a whole lot of disturbances to just fire up thunderstorms over the weekend. You might get a few pop ups here and there on a sea breeze, but that's just about it. And if you look into the forecast, after to this morning's showers that are going through much of the Northeast and Mid Atlantic right now, it looks like the afternoon might dry out for a time, maybe some peaks of sun before something breaks out once again in the afternoon. Temperatures here, in the mid to upper 80s, even into the mid 90s, heading down to DC there. So a pretty hot one for today, but that's nothing compared to what the weekend holds.
Yeah, Mike, you're right. So, I mean, you look at the look at just well, first of all, let's look at Friday evening. I mean, shower
hmm
storm is obviously going to start tapering off, and that'll move
Sure.
out with some fog, pretty muggy. But yeah, Saturday, I mean, that's where you start seeing those 90s start creeping up in the New York City, and also the heat in the sea value, which is probably the more important value to take note versus the actual air temperature, because it's going to feel like 95 in New York City, 100 in the nation's capital, of course, with showers and thunderstorms, which might be able to help us cool some areas off. But again, it's going to be isolated, so not everyone's going to see a storm, meaning most places will be dealing with that heat and humidity on Saturday. So definitely not a huge relief, but if you get under a storm and you're that lucky one, you might be able to cool off.
Yeah, for
Um,
about a half an hour, and then it'll get back to
no, but for that
soup.
one half hour, Mike. I mean, come
Yeah,
on, it's nice, a nice relief. I mean, it's like when you get inside after a nice hot day, take a shower. It's kind of
yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, on Sunday, it doesn't look like we're going to have that chance as high to see a pop up shower or thunderstorm. Just going to be hot, 90 to 95 degrees from Boston through, Philadelphia and DC. We're talking about dew points that are going to be rising also, reaching heat indices of 100 degrees in Philadelphia, even over 100 degrees in Washington, D.C. And there doesn't look like much relief from any showers. And even heading into Monday, guys, that humidity is going to be still increasing, believe it or not.
Yes.
Probably reaching dew point values of 70 to 75, which that is quite oppressive once
Yeah.
we get up into that range.
That's definitely oppressive. And again, like I mentioned, I mean, you see these values typical in the Southeast U.S., Florida with dew
hmm
points in the 70s. I mean, we get our days in the 60s, but to call it oppressive humidity, this is basically what the definition is. You have dew points in the 70s, heat in the seas, making it
hmm
feel like it's the upper 90s, low 100s. And that's basically where you're going to get on Monday, along with thunderstorms. So it's basically
Yeah.
like Florida weather up here.
Yeah, so we'll see how it all pans out. I mean, it depends when those thunderstorms do come in. If it
hmm
comes in later in the day, some of these heat indices might even be higher than what we're forecasting right now. But we'll have to see how that all pans out. The storm should come in during the afternoon. We'll see how that all develops once we get into Monday. But After that, hopefully we get some relief, at least from the humidity
A little
on
bit.
Tuesday.
I don't think
But
it'll be as hot, Mike, on Tuesday, but I think we're still probably going to deal with the humidity the rest of the week. Maybe not as bad as Monday, but it's definitely still not going to feel like a nice dry summer day anytime soon next week.
well, I was just trying to be hopeful.
And here I
But
am just shooting that down.
yeah, thanks a lot for that, Mike.
Hey,
Well,
what
anyway,
can I
guys,
do?
the heat is the big story here coming up. Please, if you're outside doing any outdoor projects or you have to work on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, please, drink plenty of water, find some shade when you can do it. Get inside when you can have some time to do that too. Get in some air conditioning. So, please be careful with that heat this upcoming weekend. And, in the meantime, certainly follow us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, all those channels right there. And as always, visit us right there at weatherworksinc.com.